Learn how to create, sustain, and scale up your print-on-demand business with the latest tips, guides, and strategies to help you start selling and making money today. Welcome to the Sales on Demand Show. And here's your host, Adam Schneider.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 19. I can't believe I made it to episode 19. So, what they say is that once your podcast makes it to episode 20 or 21, you've surpassed most podcasts in terms of how long it's lasted. And I'm kind of excited about that because I've had several podcasts in the past and I kind of gave up on them. Not because I am not dedicated, but I just didn't see any point in continuing with the topics that I was sort of chosen for that. So I'm kind of excited about this because this is like a milestone for me. And you got to celebrate every milestone. Incidentally, this is not the only print-on-demand podcast, but in my opinion, and of course, it is a totally biased opinion because I'm the host, it is the best print-on-demand podcast. There's actually another podcast called the Print-on-Demand Podcast, but I've noticed that they haven't put out a new episode for a long time, and I don't know what's happening. Most of their episodes are only like 10 minutes long anyway. So I think this is a superior quality podcast, and I'm giving you guys much better content and much better advice and strategies that you guys can actually action. And I'm doing it every single week. Most of the coaches that I know don't put out regular content. I'm a subscriber to a guy named Haimerl, and he is the smartest guy I know when it comes to paid traffic and print on demand. But even he takes breaks every now and then, and he might have like a month where he doesn't really put out any new content, or he's just sort of working on his own business. So I think I'm doing pretty good here, having regular content for you guys. Incidentally, you guys have been really quiet. I used to get a comment a day almost on the show homepage. Don't forget, salesondemandshow.com. Email me, adam@salesondemandshow.com, and send me a message. Just comment about the weather, comment about anything, ask me questions, because I know some of you are out there implementing this stuff, and I want to hear, is it working for you? Is it not working for you? What's your progress? Have you made your first sale yet? I'd love to hear anything that's happening in your business, even if you don't think it warrants, sending a message. Just do it. Just do it. I love to hear from people. Okay, so this is Easter weekend, and the holiday that I'm ramping up for is Mother's Day, of course. And Mother's Day, if I haven't already mentioned it, is probably the second or third biggest holiday of the year in terms of print-on-demand sales. And I'm starting to see a fairly nice increase in the number of sales I'm getting, mostly from Amazon, but of course Etsy being sort of my red-headed stepchild of my businesses. I have sort of devoted a few minutes here and there to Etsy, and Etsy likes that. Although, if I had lots more time and I devoted it to Etsy, I'd probably get more love from Etsy. But today, I am going to share with you some of the things that are happening to me, and I want to talk to you guys about paid traffic. This is a big and scary topic, and I'm going to just hit it from an airplane 27,000 foot view. I'm not going to give you too much in terms of strategies or how to do it, but I am going to tell you what people are doing and sort of the things that are having success in terms of paid traffic. So if you don't know what paid traffic is, most of what I talk about for selling print on demand up until this point, 18 episodes, has been marketplace sales, Etsy, and Amazon. And eBay is there. I don't use eBay, and I don't really like it because eBay seems to have been created by somebody who doesn't like people, and navigating around the eBay website is basically torture. Not a fan. Etsy, on the other hand, has a very nicely laid out, very simple way to, use back end, so that's great. So, marketplace sales are fantastic, but there's kind of a how shall I say? It takes a while to scale up with marketplace sales, and you can't make millions of dollars very easily. But on the other hand, paid traffic is the way to go if you want to be a millionaire. And man, I hate talking about people being millionaires doing this stuff, because the vast majority of people who do this are not going to be millionaires. But there are people doing this who are, in fact, millionaires. Indeed, I will tell you, I mentioned his name before, and of course I talked about Will Haimerl, but there's another guy named Bank, and his last name starts with a K. I'm not going to try and pronounce it, but I've actually met him in person, and he is making somewhere in the neighborhood of $2 million a month. I think that was what it was. Anyway, and it's all, or most of it's, print on demand. And he is a master at Facebook ads and other sources of paid traffic. And this is a guy that I'm working to get as a guest on the show. And I can't even tell you how valuable every single word that comes out of his mouth will be. He's from Thailand. He's got a fairly strong accent, almost difficult to understand, but even with that, you need to sit there and absorb everything he says, because he just knows how to do this, and he has an intuitive sense of what's going to work, and he knows it's going to work. So for him, it's just simple. You do this, 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 and this. And it's almost like listening to, Plato, or somebody who knows the topic or what they're talking about, because he just spews wisdom with every single word. And I had a chance to listen to him last October. I went to a conference for 2 days in Las Vegas. It was called Start, Sustain, and Scale, put on by Don Wilson, the owner of Gear Bubble, and Bank was there, one of the speakers. Probably, I'd say, one of the headliner speakers. There was lots of speakers there, but his speak was the greatest. Sorry. I sometimes forget how to smart, and I turn into the dumb. And, of course, Bank, I just sat there and took notes, and I was in awe at what he does. So, let's get into this. Oh, so I was going to talk about Mother's Day very quickly. Just a brief update. A lot of my stuff that I had sent to Amazon, I sent probably 300 individual products to Amazon for FBA, and they are starting to sell. Not all of them have been checked in. Amazon kind of has this check-in process where they take everything and count it and scan it and then put it in a bin, and then it's ready to sell. So it's not quite ready to sell yet, and hopefully it's going to be ready like in the next 48 hours, because I want to start launching and scaling up these products. So I got a couple of strategies that I'm going to be implementing to scale up these Mother's Day designs, because this is a tremendous opportunity to make money, and hopefully I will start selling fast enough that I'll need to send in extra product to restock, and hopefully I can get it in time. There is only 3 weeks till Mother's Day, so it's a little bit tricky to say whether, if you send in stock right now, whether it'll get there or not. There's one design in particular. I sent in 180 units worth of that one design, and I've never sold it before, and I'm taking a huge chance, but I think, and I'm almost 95% sure that I can sell this design quite easily. This is not the first time I've taken a chance on a design, but I've done this enough times. Like I said, I have 38 products that I send into Amazon for fulfillment by Amazon. I have well over probably 5 or 6,000 total listings on Amazon, and they're all fulfilled by drop shipping. So, but FBA is a little bit trickier, and it's better. But you have to know which designs are going to sell before you send them in. And that's a tricky process. And I'm actually building a course to teach people how to do that. So I have talked about that before. That's still coming up. I'm a little bit lazy on making the videos for that, but that's because I've been enjoying the outdoors. Okay, so Facebook ads. How do you sell print on demand with Facebook ads? So I want to talk about what a Facebook ad is and what it does before I tell you how people are doing this. And it's actually really, really simple. Let's take a little sip of water there. So, to sell a design on using a Facebook ad, everybody is scrolling through their Facebook feed, right? We all know how it works. And then you see ads popping up maybe every 5 or 6 posts or something like that. Well, Facebook makes a lot of money actually, from advertising using the news feed. So when people are scrolling through, same with Messenger, Facebook also owns Instagram. So when you launch a Facebook ad, you have the choice as to where that ad is going to be shown. So generally speaking, I start with the news feed, not with Instagram or the what we call the audience network, but just on the news feed. So when people are scrolling through, they're going to see my ad pop up. Now, it's been a little while since I've launched a Facebook ad for any kind of print-on-demand product, but I think Mother's Day is a good time to do it. Now, here's the challenge with that. You have to allow enough time for the product to be printed and shipped and for it to arrive. So it is quite possible that it might be almost too late for that. In fact, most of these things end up having a fairly short window where you can sell a lot in a very short period of time. It's no different with Amazon and Etsy, right? Particularly before Christmas, you're going to see a massive amount of sales activity in the first 3 weeks of, 2 weeks of December and the last week of November. And then it just dies off because if somebody orders past, the 10th or 11th of December, there's a good chance it might not get there in time. So the same thing goes with these holidays: Mother's Day, Father's Day, Valentine's Day, you name it. Whatever holiday that you're planning for, St. Patrick's Day, you have to make sure that you're launching your ads and you're getting your designs in place before the sort of deadline for that product to reach the customer. So typically, if you count, say, 5 or 6 days for the printing, which is not normally how long it takes to actually make a coffee mug, but it can take that long. And especially at Christmas, it does take that long. So you got to give about 5 or 6 days, and then you got to allow for shipping. So that's up to and including 10 business days. So generally, I think 2 weeks. So if you're selling using Facebook ads, generally what people will do is they will hammer the first sort of 2 weeks of really good selling. They'll just hammer those ads out there, and they'll try to make as much money as possible in that build-up for the holiday. So right now, we're right in the middle of that build-up, so it would be a great time to launch a Mother's Day product. And you know what, guys? I'm going to give you enough information that you could go out there and you could launch a $5 Facebook ad, and you could potentially make a couple of sales. You're probably not going to make $1 million, right? In order to scale up to hundreds, thousands, millions of dollars, you need to follow different strategies than what I'm going to give you here. But to find profitable ideas that will sell, it's actually fairly simple. Now, I got to tell you, I've spent a lot of money on Facebook ads, and I've made a decent amount of money back, but it's always been break even. So for me, I just didn't have enough time to sit down, come up with designs, launch them, and start the ads, because that's all something that you gotta do manually. You can hire a VA to do that, but generally speaking, most people who are doing this are launching the ads themselves. So here's the process. Okay? You actually have to use your personal Facebook account to open a Facebook business account. Now, this is something that most people don't even know exists, because most of the users on Facebook are not launching businesses. They're not using the business manager. The business manager is kind of like this other Facebook, and it's actually a completely different site. You actually have to log into it separately. If you're logged into your Facebook, you can usually get into it, but it's something that Facebook has to actually activate for you. I think it is. I've had it activated for a long time. So it could be that Facebook has to activate it, or maybe it's already activated. In any case, the address is business.facebook.com. So log into your personal Facebook and go to that business.facebook.com, and you'll find the Facebook business site. And it is complex. Like, there is a lot of options on there, and a lot of them are going to seem like, what the heck is this? But I'm going to simplify it for you. Here's what you need. You need an ad account, which, generally speaking, when you open your business account, you get an ad account. You need to have a payment method, so you have to have some way of giving Facebook money. A credit card, PayPal, I don't know what the options are. I think Facebook takes money from PayPal for me, but it's been a couple months, so I'll have to... No, I'm almost 100% sure that they take PayPal. So if you're outside of the US and you don't have access to a credit card that Facebook can charge, I'm almost 100% sure you can use PayPal. Other payment options I don't know about, but PayPal is an option. I don't know if it's the best option, but it's an option. Then the second thing that you need is you need a Facebook page. Now, I'm not talking about your personal page. You need to create a fan page. Now, generally what people do is they'll create a page that matches the niche that they're trying to advertise into. So, for example, I have a page for pets, and I have a page for dads, and I got a page for like firefighters and stuff, and these are all niches that I wanted to advertise into. So typically what people will do, they'll open up a Facebook page, you create like a cover, and then you create a little icon, the little round square, I forget what they call it. There's two images that you need. One is the wide one, the other one is the small one. And maybe I'm just screwing this up badly because I don't remember the name of it, but anybody who's created a Facebook page will probably know what I'm talking about. So you create the cover image and then the little icon image, and that's basically it. And you can put a little bit of content on that page because you'll be the admin. You'll be the owner of the page. But you should seed it with a little bit of content that is relevant to the niche. So, for example, create a page for motherhood. Or you could just create a family kind of oriented page, and that's what I've done. So I have Evercardia, which is my sort of main advertising page. And if you want, you can go to Evercardia on Facebook and you can look at it. The icon is a little heart, and I just did that because I want a generic page to advertise from. Now, the name of the page should sort of relate to what you're doing, but it's not, absolutely vital, because most of the time, most people don't really know what they're going to be advertising, and they're going to be testing a lot of different things. So if you find something that works really, really well, and you're like, oh man, this kind of dog-themed design seems to be working really well, what they usually do is they'll create a dog-themed page, and they'll advertise straight from that page, but they'll use the main generic page for testing. Okay, so testing is the key, and testing is the hardest part. So what I mean by testing is it's the same thing that you're doing on Amazon and Etsy. You're just going to launch products out there and pay Facebook to show them to people. And I am way oversimplifying this. And anybody who knows Facebook ads, you guys know I'm way oversimplifying that. But yet, that is exactly what you're doing. And if you think of it as being just testing different ideas out, you will probably have much better success than a lot of people. And what happens with a lot of people is that they'll kind of fall in love with a design, they'll make a few sales from it, and they'll keep trying to like pump that one product when it may not be what the marketplace actually wants. So, generally speaking, the best kind of Facebook ad traffic is pre-holiday traffic. That's when you have the best chance of making good money and people are ready to buy. So for Mother's Day, here's like a 3-step process to get this done. It might be more than 3 steps, but it won't be much more. Okay, so open up your business account and create a page that is sort of family oriented, or it could be parenting or something like that. But anything that sort of relates to Mother's Day, even if it's just peripherally, is fine. A lot of people will open up a fan page that's called like Family Gifts or Family Love. That's actually a good idea because the family niche is really broad and you can target a lot of different people in that. So here's a couple things you can sell, for families. You can sell to sons, to daughters, from dad or from mom. Or you can sell from son to mom, from daughter to mom, from daughter to dad, and son to dad. Or you can do dad to wife, or son to grandfather. I mean, there's just so many different angles to take on that it's really just a good idea to open up like a family-oriented page. Okay, so the second thing you're going to do is that you're going to create some designs. Now, these aren't going to be the simple black text on a white mug kind of designs. And there's actually a huge number of different products that work really well. But coffee mugs work okay. But actually what works really good is things like hoodies, tumblers, necklaces. Those are things that sell really well on Facebook. And the reason that they sell really well is that people perceive those as being worth a lot of money. And they'll pay, $30 for a necklace when it only costs you $10 to actually make it. Or maybe even less, like $7.95 or something. So basically what you're going to do, go to gearbubble.com, sign up for the basic Gearbubble access. So create some designs and launch them. Then Gearbubble gives you a URL, and you can use that URL to directly sell the designs that you make. Now, Gearbubble will print the products and ship it to the customer, and they'll handle all the customer service on that, and you just collect the money. So when you get a sale, you can actually click a button that says "Pay me now," which is great. So your payment will be basically the profit on whatever item you sell. So you have to kind of go through and decide how much you want to sell it for. So I recommend $30 to $35 for necklaces, and they're little 1-inch necklaces on a gold or silver chain. Some of them are heart-shaped, some of them are not. There's square ones, so on. Coffee mugs, $20. Charge $20 for a coffee mug. Now you can do a lot with a coffee mug. You can have it customized. You can have people upload their own photos, and you can make it really specific for a year on it. You could be like, my first Mother's Day or something like that. Actually, that's a really good one. First Mother's Day, 2019. And you could put the name of the baby on it or something like that. But something like that is a really cool gift, and people will pay more for that than they would for a coffee mug from, say, Amazon or something like that. So really the principles are the same. You're trying to find a design that people want to buy, or that they might want to buy if they saw it on Facebook. And this is actually, you can sell 1,000 units of one design, and you could do it in a pretty short period of time if you spend enough money on advertising. But the first thing that you're going to do, go into your business manager and you're going to create a page post, and you're going to put the picture of the mug on there, and you're going to put some little script that says, wonderful gift for your mom, click here to buy. And again, I'm simplifying this enough. Don't overcomplicate this. Everybody who does this always overcomplicates Facebook ads. It's not that complicated. So when people scroll through, they're going to see the design. They're going to maybe read like 3 or 4 words of the copy that you put at the top of the post, and they're either going to buy it or they're not. So those are the only 2 things that you need to do. The link that you put on the page post should be the link to the Gear Bubble product that you launched. And if you want to pay someone to create a design for you, not a bad idea. But make sure that you target something that is related to Mother's Day. And I wouldn't even go and use the same old phrases that everybody uses. People have been selling. There's a design that goes, Dear Mom, thanks for being my mom. If I had another mom, I'd punch her in the face and come find you. I call that one the punch in the face mom design. And it has been sold and sold and sold. Very unlikely that you're going to be able to use that design and sell it again. So it's a good idea to come up with something fresh. And honestly, this is one of the hardest parts of Facebook ads, is coming up with these fresh designs. But what people do who are smart is that they'll just hire somebody, and they'll be like, all right, 3 designs a week. Okay, launch those designs. I'll pay you $20 a design. You send them to me, and then you have to decide what kind of designs you want and all that. But, do some research. And the best way to research is to look on Facebook and see what other advertisers are selling. And then when you see those ads, click on them. And then visit their Facebook page and like the Facebook page. And that will tell Facebook, hey, I like these coffee mugs or t-shirts or whatever, show me more of them. And then like all of the pages for every print-on-demand thing you see. And I talked about this last Christmas about it's basically a nice way to spy. And believe me, everybody does this on Facebook. But you never want to directly copy what someone's doing, because the chances are if you're seeing them advertise this, they've kind of already, either it's working for them or it's not working for them. But you're not going to have great success if you just copy what someone else is doing, because your ad is going to be shown to many of the same people. And they might look at that and say, oh, I already saw that. I didn't want it. And the people who have already wanted it have already bought it. Or at least, in theory, they have. So you got to think of something fresh if you're going to do Facebook ads. It doesn't have to be complicated, but it should be fresh. And then you just launch an ad. You pay Facebook. Basically what you're paying for is for Facebook to show the ad to a bunch of people. So generally what people do, and I'll really just sum up with this, I'm really hoping to get either Will or Bank on here to talk about this, because this is a great way to make money. And I just don't have a lot of time to do this for myself. I'm focusing on what's working for me already. But if you guys are doing well on Amazon, you're doing well on Etsy, and you're like, you know what, I need another stream of income, because you never want to have just one thing going on. Amazon, and Don Wilson says this, he says, Amazon is your bonus, not your business. Now, I don't know if I go that far, because Amazon is a valid business, and there are lots of people making lots of money on Amazon. And I think it's a valid business, but you got to have at least 2 different ways of selling going on. So Etsy could be one, Amazon could be the other, or you could forget about Etsy and do Facebook ads, because it's completely different. And they can't take it away from you. Like, Amazon can close your account and basically throw you out in the cold. which is not very likely to happen, but they can do it. Facebook, if Facebook closes down one of your ad accounts, you can open up another one, usually. So it's very hard for you to lose the ability to run ads on Facebook. So, what I would do, if you're planning on running some Mother's Day designs, get 3 designs. All of them different, all of them with a different kind of theme or idea behind it, a different phrase. Get 3 designs. Even work with simple ones. You can even steal the idea that I just gave you. First Mother's Day 2019. Something like that. Trying to think of something else. Can't think of anything off the top of my head right now. But what usually sells well for coffee mugs is funny. T-shirts, funny, or coffee mug sentimental is really good too. Funny is sort of second. Sentimental is the best. For necklaces, sentimental only. So don't put anything funny on a necklace because that's not going to sell. A necklace is a very sort of treasured item, and it's a sentimental gift. So when you launch an ad on Facebook, and I'm not going to tell you how to launch Facebook ads because that would be another 4-hour session, but you're going to target basically anything that you think will get your design in front of people who have a mother who's alive. Okay, now you might be thinking, well, no kidding, but that means you got to target an age range, right? So I would target 30 to 45 and women. That's a good place to start. And then you can add in other targeting later, or you can change up the targeting. But I would definitely launch 3 test ads and do $5 to $10 a day and just see what happens. And if you get a sale on an item, basically what you're going to do is you're going to launch a different ad with the same product, but increase the budget. Now they've changed Facebook ads around a bit. The Facebook ad manager has changed a bit, so I'm a little bit behind on how the ads are structured, but it's campaign, ad set, and then ad. And those are the 3 levels that your ads will have. So if all of this is Greek, German, or Russian to you, don't sweat it. This is just something to get you started. And I'm actually going to link to the website of the guy who is my mentor, Will Haimerl. And he's actually working with me to put together this course that's coming up from me. And he is a genius with Facebook ads and also Google Shopping ads, which I didn't even know was a thing until like 5 or 6 months ago when he launched a course on it and I paid for the course. So I don't do a lot of paid traffic, but it is an excellent way to make lots and lots of money in a short period of time. Like I said, one of the guys I know is making millions off of this, and it's not unusual for people to have campaigns that reach 10, 15, 20,000 units sold, and that's over just a period of a few weeks. So if you can get an idea that sells really well, launch it in a Facebook ad and see how it does. I mean, you can make a ton of money. Etsy is more like getting the 1 or 2 sales here and there. Amazon is about getting sort of a long-term set of sales, but Facebook ads are about making a lot of money in a short period of time. So with that, guys, check out some of the links in the show notes. Leave me some notes. Send me an email. Send me a messenger pigeon or something like that. But it's great having all of you guys here listening to me. So keep it up. Next time, I might talk a little bit more about paid traffic strategies, or I might not. I really don't know. So thanks for listening, guys. Happy Easter. Cheers.